lovelies. I hope you are all doing well. For those of you who are new here, my name is Francesca and I make videos about mental health and how to live your best life. Today I wanted to talk about something that is really hard for a lot of people, which is eating disorders. And I want to focus on healings from eating disorders. I had an eating disorder. I got diagnosed with anorexia when I was 15, and it was a really hard road to recovery and super bumpy. I actually went to clinics, which didn't really help, but I found an angel of a therapist after the clinics, and she helped me find my whys to recovery. And I'd really love to make a video just talking about 10 or so things that really helped me in my recovery. There isn't a 1, 2, 3 and ABC to recovery. It's like a roller coaster, but strap on tight because it's the best decision you can make. And I hope that these little things will just help make recovery a little bit easier for you. The first thing that helped me so much in my recovery was separating me from my eating disorder. I felt like throughout the beginning stages of my recovery and when I was struggling, people referred to me as like I was anorexia. And my therapist one day sat me down and told me, okay, this voice that you hear in your head, it's not you, it's your eating disorder. So let's visualize it, give it a name. I gave it the name of Ed and put it on the chair next to us. And when you kind of create this division, you're really able to see which voice is from you and which voice is from your eating disorder, which I think is the beginning step of healing, because how are you supposed to heal from something that is your identity? A lot of the times when we're struggling with an eating disorder, it feels like it's our whole identity, and without this separation, you can't begin the starting steps of healing. The next thing is finding your whys to recovery. Recovery is really hard, and oftentimes there's voices that are bombarding us with all the reasons why we shouldn't recover. So really digging down and finding some core reasons of why you want to heal is so helpful to keep you on track, especially in your hard days. I went through some old journals and I wrote down some of the things that I said for my whys while I was in recovery, which was, I want to have kids one day. I want to feel energy again. I want to be able to enjoy things again. I don't want to die. And I want to go on Mowgli adventures. So cute. What I meant by Mowgli adventures is like, I love hiking, and I've always wanted to be able to hike with bare feet like Mowgli. And you definitely can't do that when you're struggling with an eating disorders. I can now definitely say I've been on some Mowgli adventures and they've been so worth it. And with your whys, any why is a good why, but try to make your why somewhere from within. Things that you want from yourself. Try to not make them, I need to recover because this person wants me to recover, but reasons why you want to recover. And this will really, really help your recovery, especially on your hard days. If you print these out, you can put them on your wall, or if you don't want everyone walking in your room to see them, you can put them inside your closet. And really seeing these every day reminds you of how worth recovery is and how much you want to do it. The next one is cleanse your media. The next one is cleanse your media. We are on our phones all the time, and it is so hard to recover when every time you go on Instagram, there's certain kinds of triggering content like models, diets, but also old photos that you may have. If you have any photos printed on your wall or on your phone that remind you of a time that you were struggling and feel triggering for you, let all of those things go. They're not serving you. I would really recommend going on a social media class and just unfollow anyone that makes you feel slightly triggered. And instead, you can follow some people that have the reverse, that really help you to continue your recovery and find the importance of how important recovery is. If you go on my Instagram page, I follow a bunch of these people, but also please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I would be happy to help you find the right people for you. Next is take it one day, one meal at a time. So often our anxiety really lies in the past or the future, but rarely the present. So really try and take each meal as it comes. Don't think about, oh my gosh, I'll have to do this for dinner, or I have these things planned for the day. Try to really just be there, be in the present, and just focus on that. Narrow your view. Because when we open up too much and then we have all of these fears of, oh my gosh, what about dinner at night, and what about breakfast next morning, and in a week I'm gonna go to this birthday party, and like da da da. So try to really just focus in the present, and it'll really help you feel more balanced in your recovery. The next one is stop body checking. So don't weigh yourself. Don't clench onto certain parts of your body. I know that's something I would do. Like I would touch certain parts of my body, like my stomach. And if I felt like it was bigger, then that would be super triggering. Or also keeping clothes that don't serve me anymore, keeping clothes that are way too small was a form of body checking. And all these things are so unhelpful and really keep you stuck in the disorder. So I'd really recommend that you try your very hardest to just let these things go, because they're not serving you. Next thing is a support team. This is so important. So my support team was my therapist, my family, and a doctor. I would go to my therapist every week, sometimes twice a week. I would go to the doctor once a week to check on my heartbeat and vitals. Excuse me. And my family was really helpful for me. Some people also have dietitians. I actually tried a few dietitians and it was really unhelpful to me, but that's totally dependent on you and your recovery. But having a team is essential. You know, eating disorders are not a choice, but healing is. However, healing without any support is really, really hard. So find and build your support team. The next one is try to remind yourself that sometimes things aren't as hard as you think they will be. Let me make that make sense. I would always be so scared of, oh my gosh, like I have to eat this thing and it's gonna freak me out and I'm gonna have an anxiety attack and then I won't be able to do anything for the rest of the night and da da da. And when you have that in your mind, of course, when you actually eat that food, it's going to be more likely that this actually happens, right? Because you've already played out the scenario. So what I like to do now, especially when I was in my recovery, is there was a meal that I was scared about, I would say, wow, that sounds really scary right now. I'm going to do it because of my whys. And then when this little voice of like, but this is going to happen, and this is going to happen would start, I would say, maybe, but also maybe it won't be as hard as I think. The thing that really helped me was making a list of foods that feel safe. So safe food would be something that you can eat and doesn't cause any kind of anxiety. I think trying fewer foods is very, very important, and pushing yourself. However, on days where you're feeling very fragile and you're feeling very overwhelmed, I think it's much better to nurture your body with any food, and safe foods are really helpful for that. So I made a list of safe food and safe food meals, and it was helpful because whenever I would feel really anxious, I would just look at that list and then just pick one of those things to make and do it, and I knew that those would not make me as anxious. However, make sure that these are nutrient dense, just carrots and celery sticks don't count as the only thing you can have for that meal. That's not even a snack. I know that's something really hard to hear sometimes, but your body needs a lot of nurture. Something else that's super helpful in the moment, if there's a moment that you're feeling really anxious, is self-soothing. So finding a method that works for you that calms you down. Some things that I found that really helped me were tapping my fingers like this, also putting my feet on the ground and breathing, as well as distractions. Like if I was feeling really anxious while eating a meal, then I would watch a TV show while eating it. So really just finding things that help you to best set yourself up for success. The last one is celebrate your little victories. We so easily get down on ourselves, especially folks in recovery from an eating disorder. If you have an eating disorder, you may be quite a perfectionist. So when you are fully in healing mode, you might be a perfectionist about recovery too, which is crazy, but it's the way it is. And just remind yourself that healing is not linear. It's like a roller coaster, and just because you take one step back, it does not mean you're at the bottom of the staircase. It's just one step back. And I know the losses can feel really hard when you have a bad day, but try and remember to celebrate your wins too. Really, like when you eat a certain food that you were really scared of, or you do a certain thing, celebrate that. Be like, fuck yeah, I did that. And when you continue to celebrate your wins, you'll see that the Ed voice starts to get quieter because your wins are taking up more space. Recovery has been the best decision I have ever made. I am so excited now that I have energy and that I'm happy and that I have beautiful people around me, and my worst days in recovery are better than my best days when I was succumbing to an eating disorder. I never thought that I would be able to put my eating disorder behind me, and I'm so proud and grateful to say now that it is behind me, and I am living my best life, and I am so happy. And it wasn't an easy journey. It took years and years, but I know that you can do it too, and I believe in you. I put a little video together of things that I've done in the past few months that I love and that make me so happy that I would have never been able to do with an eating disorder. And they made me really happy, and I hope that they encourage you too, because you are capable of healing. You are capable to do all the things that you want to do. You're capable of living your best life. We just have to put Ed away. And I hope that these tips help you a little bit to make your recovery a bit easier, and I believe in you. Ciao.